Hello, fine tuning. It's Anna Jyoti Lowe. And I've got so many pieces of Gua Sha now that I thought I'd do a little bit of a look round and how do you select your piece, or what should you buy, or what should you get for what. The reason why I've got so many different pieces is because they have different jobs, even though they all do the scraping, the Gua Sha scraping. There's sort of areas that they go nicely, and I've got different pieces for different jobs. I've got my own personal piece that I use upstairs. I've got some for body Gua Sha training. I've got some that's specifically through the scalp, the meridians through the scalp. I've got some lovely old pieces that I bought could be about 10 years ago now, actually 8 years ago, because when it arrived, this piece here, teacher was a puppy and he's 8 now, and it was the time when I didn't have a porch and he was a puppy, and basically he would shred everything that came through the letterbox. So he's 8. So I've had that one. That's from the rosewood or the muir woods, and that's another rosewood piece. So that was when I first came across the Gua Sha, and I was like, wow. It's not it's first time, because when we were doing Chinese medicine and acupuncture, we talked about it and we looked at it. It was the first time that I bought any. So, and started to really regularly use it on myself. And I like the wood because it was gentle. So they're 2 lovely pieces that I bought for myself, and was doing my face and my shoulders myself. And even those are so delightful. They've even got this sort of groove in it. If you can see, there's like a groove in it where your thumb goes. And that's more for like holding and securing it so that you can use the edge of it for scraping. So I'm not going to do much Gua Sha on myself. It's more about the actual pieces. So the ones that I originally started with and bought a lot of, and still buy a lot of, because they're pretty inexpensive and you can get hold of them, are these little, well, they're heart shape or something else shape, but these are made out of jade. So lucky stone in China. They're cooling and very beautiful stones. And so with all these stones, you can either have them chilled or you can have them warmed, but they're great chilled, or you can just use them at room temperature. So these are small enough. I started using these on the body, but we know now that these, with so many different pieces on the market now, then these smaller pieces are better for the face, and they contour the face in different shapes. So you're going to use this shape for more of a flatter surface contouring. I'll take my glasses off. And then these pointy shapes, that here goes nicely across the brow and here and along the jawline. So that's what these and then there's I don't even think I've got them all yet. I might have to get a few more examples. There's a sort of one that works, it's like a 3-pointed that works across the risorius muscle and the masseter, and it works sort of along the lines here. It's really cool. So I've still got more pieces to get hold of. This is a piece of buffalo horn, ethically sourced buffalo horn. And again, it's quite a sharper edge. It's quite good for use on the body, and it's a sharper edge. That's a nice piece. And the good old jar lid, which is the original coining, is the phrase that the Chinese use for. They literally would take the edge of, so not on the face, but more on the back, and perhaps a larger jar lid, but literally to scrape using a jar lid or the soup spoon. So I've made another video before about that, about how not to spend a lot of money on pieces of Gua Sha, but you can use a good old spoon, these Chinese soup spoons, which again, they're absolutely brilliant. They really are a great edge and great to hold. So I highly recommend that one. That's amazing. So they're bringing fresh qi and blood to the area, and lymphatic. So the sweepy moves are for lymphatic work, And the scraping and the sa brings a petechia, which is a sort of agitating of the blood capillaries that disturbs and creates a micro trauma in the capillaries to disperse stagnation. So when you've got a lot of blood stagnation and chi stagnation, this rapid movement with the tool is agitating and disturbing the blood capillaries that are stagnant, to bring fresh oxygenated blood and chi, and then it also works with the lymphatic system as well. So that's why we're using these. This is another body piece. It's called Bayan stone. Yeah, this is about 6-7 inches of a Bayan stone. It's got quite a sort of sharpish edge on it. And again, this one works again really nicely all over the body, across the trapezius, down the rhomboid, which I showed you in another video, and some photographs on my site. Across, if you have a look on my website on the Gua Sha training, there's a picture of us doing on the rhomboids. It works brilliant there, but also really nice down the legs, hamstrings, tibialis anterior, really good. Great on the forearms for any congestion in the forearms as well. So this is a Bayan stone, B-I-A-N, available from the Amazon. Back to the jade, and I like this piece. So they all have little holes in them. Somebody asked me recently, is that right? Is it legit that it has a hole in it? And I can only imagine that the reason why is because either they were hung as lucky stones, but because they're bespoke Gua Sha now, and they all have them in, I'm wondering, because they're designed specifically for this purpose, is that they thread like a red ribbon through it and have it around their wrist, so that while you're doing the work, and then you can just grab your tool rather than having to go away. That's the only reason, unless they hang them as lucky pieces. So this one, again, you can contour and find where it best contours. This feels right across the jawline again, and here. This is really nice. Oh, right in those sinus points, brilliant. Amazing. So another couple of pieces of jade each have, oh yes, on cue dog barking while I'm doing a video, that's fine, that's normal. So these pieces, again, using that way, so holding it that way or this way. These are too sharp to work on point personally. I wouldn't really use those on point. These you can use on point. And these get into the real nitty gritty. So when you're working like acupoints here, talked before about acupoints, that when you find this lovely acupoint here, stomach 6, and the highest point of the masseter, you can really work into the acupoints. And then even things like large intestine 4, you can do the Do 14 that we were talking about, gallbladder 20, 21. You can get really focused with these end points, but again, you can use them on the face. They work really, really well to do some lymphatic drainage. Perfect. This is my piece for reflexology. So you can see the video that I have for reflexology. It's quite a rounded piece of rose quartz and has this 3 points. This is what I was talking about, the 3 points before actually. So I have got a 3 pointers, and you can see that it targets 3 areas on your face. Here we've got this lovely risorius muscle, and we've got the zygomaticus, we've got the bicularis oris, triangularis, buccinator, and it sort of sits within those 3 muscles. There's actually tools now with more obvious 3 points in them. Yeah, so I use this for reflexology. Have a look at my Gua Sha reflexology, because I use this along with a rosewood stick for my reflexology. These are fantastic for that. And then I do also work a lot with crystal stones, so rounded crystal stones in massage. Not so much Gua Sha, but certainly working with the stones in my hand. They're really nice. This is my Heiyu piece. This is my personal piece. I adore this. I resisted buying a big piece for a while, and I've done 2 videos about that as well, eating my words, because when my friend introduced me to this big piece of Heiyu, I was like, I gotta get one of those. It just really covers a large surface area. It's got a lovely heavy feel to it, And yeah, it's just a really lovely piece. So this is my personal piece that I use in my facial care routine. Then there's these two which have comb aspects. This one is nice because it can work along like a cross fiber technique, with if you've got wrinkles or lines on your forehead to work with, you can really slowly and firmly work with nice oils. So you can work with rosehip oil, sea buckthorn oil, apricot kernel oil with essential oils. What else? The Super Greens by Tropic is another oil that I use. So just working really slowly and firmly up, and then using the blade side of it, I'm going to come across here, smoothing out as well. So that's a great piece of kit. Really nice piece of kit. Do like that a lot. From the Amazon, not expensive at all actually. Considering, dare I say it, that one was quite expensive. This is a similar sized tool and a fraction of the price. Company from this one is Mina here. Anyway, I found that from the Amazon too. And then this one this is great for meridians in the scalp. So the gallbladder and bladder, governing vessel, and Sanja meridian. So you can work, because that's the other thing that you can use the Gua Sha for, and these tools, is that you're combing and working through the meridian line, so you can work along the pathways of the meridian flow. So this is nice to stimulate the scalp, the nerve endings, meridian points within the head and the scalp. It's deeply relaxing. So there are loads more pieces that I've got my eye on. There's a lovely big piece of rose quartz with a comb on it that I really like. And there's a piece of carnelian that I really want as well, like a big piece of carnelian like that. And that Jane Scrivener has. There's loads. I keep seeing lovely pieces that everybody's using, like a nice big black piece. I think either it's onyx, or I don't know if it's Ironstone, buffalo, or onyx. I'd have to check, but it's like a big black stone with 3 prongs on it. That's really lovely. That I see a lot of people using. So I think because my awareness is with the Gua Sha and I hashtag it, that I see a lot of people using this modality now, because it is so good. It really works to drain and refresh the face, and it's really brilliant to relieve stagnation on those areas of the back that I've mentioned, the trapezius, rhomboid, glutes, like down the piriformis area, very good. And it works fantastically well in harmony with the silicone cupping. So my training at the School of Fine Tuning, I work with all of these pieces. I teach you how to work with all of these pieces, and it includes silicone cupping. So keep an eye on my Facebook page and my website, which is theschooloffinetuning.com, and it's the School of Fine Tuning on the socials. And just keep an eye out. And if you wanted to study Gua Sha with me, Gua Sha in my lovely training room, please come and join me. I'm based in Bournemouth, and I'd be more than happy to welcome you here at the school. Thank you so much.